Welcome to the Woman Who Left podcast.
Hello, Izzy. Thank you very much for coming on and getting chatting to me. It's been one hectic day. And I know it's a wee bit late, so it's great that you can come on. So we'll just start then just by getting you to introduce yourself. Tell us a wee bit about Izzy Smith.
That's my name. I'm from the Midlands. Been in Strongman for about a year. Just a bog standard woman. Worked at a 9-to-5 job and do this on the side. I would like to go full time, but it's unfortunately not a very easy thing for strong women.
No.
There's bugger all support for anything, but yeah,
we're getting there.
We're getting there a bit.
We just have to keep pushing, don't we?
It's mad.
I know. So before we get into the strong woman side of things, tell us a wee bit about your background. Have you played sports and that before, or what would you have done growing up?
Not a lot. I played a bit of rugby in primary school, so nothing like mad. Done a bit of boxing here and there, yet again primary school and like early secondary. That's it. I was always the typical fat kid at school, like never played any sports, never. PE, they're like, last one getting picked, just stay over there sort of thing. It was just never interested in it at all until this.
I know the crack. Like growing up, and my mum used to own a boutique, so she would have always have been more. I don't want to say that favoritism to my sister because she's a bit skinnier than me. I was always the big kid. I was always told to stop going into the. Why are you in the fridge again? For God's sake, you've just had your dinner. So I know, and now though it's great though because now it's not about skinny being the best. It's about being thick and chunky. So we're starting with we are the popular kids nowadays. So then, how did you get into Strongwoman? You say you're doing it a year, so what got you into it?
Yeah, again, just a complete fumble and fall into it. Joined a commercial gym just to, lose weight and hated it. Went up to my PT, obviously he wasn't my PT at the time, but saw a bloke and went, you look a bit friendly compared to, as awful as it sounds, because now I know them and they're absolutely lovely. Yeah. Like Instagram model PTs, skinny, perfect hair, and I'm like, oh no. So I saw, a random bloke that looked like a dad who was a PT, and I'm like, yeah, you look friendly. Toddled over. Hi, do you do PT? Yeah, come on, sit down. What do you want to do? Da da da. Started playing around with weights just to, lose weight. And he's like, "You're quite strong, aren't you?" Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, like, yeah, you shouldn't be. What? Try the next one up. Try the next one. And it just went on like that. And he's like, right, you really like weights, don't you? I'm like, yeah. Like, I hate running, hate, biking, typical cardio.
Yeah.
Right, okay. And then, I'd looked on Instagram or Facebook, and it just popped up on my page, like for this competition. I sent him a screenshot of it, and I was like, oh, it's for 8 months' time or whatever, should I do it? And he's like, yeah, get it, like book sort of thing. Oh, but I'm scared, and da da da. I just booked it, and that's literally how it was. I've never met any strong men before that, never really heard of it, and just fell into it.
I think that's how most of us probably get into it. We kind of fall into it. So now then, so you've done 2 competitions.
Yeah.
Since you started. One of them being Strongest Woman in the North and England's Most Powerful Woman. Before we get into talking about them, just to get a wee bit more, just a wee bit more, bit of crack about the strong woman side thing. So, what would your favorite part of it now be? When you look back.
What, like event wise or like?
Well, like, some people say like the community, and
Oh
the
yeah,
atmosphere, and
100%.
and events and stuff as well. Yeah.
Yeah. 100% the community. Like, I hated the gym. Like, I went as a kid, and well, I say as a kid, probably like 16, 17. And I remember distinctly just getting laughed out by a group of lads. And yeah, never returned. And was like, right, that's it, I'm done, never going back. As soon as I started lifting those weights, random people in the gym, like a very commercial gym with chains all over the place, because we've got no strongman gyms around here. Oh my God, that's really cool, that, oh, can you just help me with this? Can you? And it's just lovely. At competitions, everyone is cheering on everyone. It's not just like, right, I don't like you because you're my, competition sort of thing. Everyone, I mean, from the first one, we all added each other on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. And, we're all messaging each other, we're all from different backgrounds, different ages, different everything. And yeah, we were all the same boat and on each other as loud as the next person. And it's just fantastic, because you'd never get that in, like, my sister came to see me at the first competition. She does horse riding, and without sounding off, it's a very bitchy world, horse riding. I remember her coming in, she was like, right, and she was obviously joking, she's like, right, you've got to beat these, and I'm like, Bex, it's not like that. Like, you shout for everyone. Like, oh, really? Like, we're just not shouting for you. I'm like, no. Like, do you hear them? They're shouting for me as well. I don't know them. Oh, right, okay. And literally, just 2 seconds later, she just shouted this random girl doing it, and I'm like, yes, thank you. Like, we're not horse riding people here.
No. I actually wouldn't think that horse riding would be that bitchy.
Oh, it's terrible. The stories she comes out with, like, I'm surprised they've not set each other's like barns and stuff on fire. Like, they're awful to each other.
Does she do racing, or is it like the horse dressage or whatever you call it thing?
Yeah, she does that one. I'm not
show jumping.
Yeah, show jumping, and I think she's just learning dressage at the moment. But yeah, no, it's a bitchy world.
I think those sometimes, and because Strongwoman's quite individual, it's an individual sport to some kind of sense, even though it's an inclusive. But I'm so used to, like, we rugby, for example, as well. Because you were playing team sports, you would have to cheer everybody else on, but you actually hate the other team. Whereas when you're there, the other team is everybody else you're kind of like competing against, which is right. You don't want, you do cheer everybody on. You want to see them all do good, because you know how fucking hard it is to lift something heavy and fling it over your shoulder and fling it over your head, and you know what bloody it takes out of your body, like.
Yeah, cheering for the, I don't want to say the weakest link, that's not the right phrase. I can't think of what you'd call it, but the weaker one there, if you will, or
the person just say who's only like started like 2 months ago.
Yeah, and everyone, the loudest crowd is for that person, and it's amazing.
It really
is. Oh, what am I?
So tell us then a wee bit about your competition prep. Obviously Strong Woman, the strongest woman in the north, was your first competition, and you got second in that, which is absolutely fantastic. How did your training, nutrition, and recovery go for that, or how did you really prepare yourself for your first competition? How do you, like, you don't know any different, so you don't know what really is going to work and what's not.
Yeah, honestly, not a lot, like, sort of different from what I was doing. Like, it was a lot of the training was in lockdown when all the gyms were closed. So I had like it's a glorified shed at the house I was at. It was about 1 metre by 1.5 meters. And I borrowed someone's, like, the yoga studio bars that are like 5 kilos. Borrowed one of them. I had some water butts filled with sand to like try and make a deadlift bar. My granddad had some battle ropes, so nicked them off him for a bit, and that was all I could train with for about 6 months. Was just doing like farmers carries up and down my garden, and sort of like filling suitcases with books and doing squats.
That's a really fucking good idea.
And stuff like that. Like we couldn't do nothing because there was nothing on sale either. It was all sold out everywhere. So that was obviously a bit of a hindrance. Like I said, my coach, and I mean, is one of my closest friends now. I'd say, like, he did everything they possibly could have during that sort of thing, like to just keep me motivated more than anything. So I'm just sat at home and go to work, come home, and staring at this bloody shed wall, which is a foot in front of me, trying to do my squats and my deadlifts and what have you. But yeah, it was just the same. And then once the gym started, that's when we really cracked on, and we did sort of like a 5-day plan. Push pull, or push pull legs, push pull. I want to say. I'm trying to remember now. Yeah, just spending a day on each. Absolutely knackered. Yeah, nutrition. Yeah, again, just with my macros, I was still sort of like you say, finding your feet of the balance between, for myself especially, like I've always used food as like a comfort, and that's obviously why I've gained a hell of a lot of weight through like my childhood or what have you. So it was like a case of binging, purging, and squirting that can't strict thing, because otherwise I'm gonna end up going back there, and I don't want to go into that dark place like food wise.
No.
So it's like, right, we'll just take little steps and do little bits. I mean, it must have worked. We got 5 stone off, so it's done something. I mean, 3 of that went back on when we did start a bloody strongman. So
what 3? That would probably be a 3 stone in muscle, like, or different, like a different weight rather than
yeah.
I don't want to say bad weight, because that's not a good way of putting it, but it's definitely a much more positive weight that you put on rather than.
Oh god, yeah, but like my mindset completely changed, because before that I would have been like, oh my god, like worst thing ever, putting that back on. Now I'm like, yeah, but look how big my calves are, like.
And look how heavy you can, like, how heavy the yoke and stuff is that you can carry on your back. And
yeah, like it's insane. Like my back and my like top of my arms, the last things to come out, like defined what I was doing stretches. And he's like, Jesus Christ, like your legs are like twice the size of mine. I'm like, yeah, but like feel it, it's rock hard. And I'm like, it goes to show, like weight's not everything.
No,
like,
it definitely isn't.
So yeah,
it's made out to be everything when you're. Weight's made out to be everything whenever you're younger, because you're listening to the old generation talk about being skinny, and more so than not, whenever you look, some of the, like, I'm a nurse, so some of the patients we have, and you can see that their traits from years ago has left them now with, like, they've eating disorders. They've always had eating disorders, but it was never picked up on.
Yeah, it's mad, like absolutely mad. Like, I didn't realise I had one until I mentioned it to somebody who was a nurse, and they're like, yeah, that's an eating disorder. I'm like, oh. Every time I've spoke about it, they're just like, oh, it's because you're fat. Like, I'm like, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense actually now, through like, different things that happened as a kid and what have you. I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense now. Like, not using it as an excuse, but it clicks the dots. and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, so I know what I'm doing now, and instead of being like, well, I'm doing that, so why am I doing that? Like, there's no link. So nutrition's a bit sort of iffy still, if we will.
Better than what it was
Getting there.
before, though. Yeah, it's getting.
Oh, 100%. I mean, before I was, takeaways most nights, just crap, like, and that's not a bad thing. But for me, myself, like, it wasn't good. I was feeling sluggish, and I wasn't sleeping and stuff like that. Now I sleep throughout the whole night. That hasn't happened since before all this. My energy levels are up. Like, I'll do a 2-hour session, go straight to work, and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Whereas before, I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that before work. Like, no. We're getting there slowly but surely, sort of working out the macros, because ironically, apparently I wasn't getting enough carbs in my diet, and that's another reason why I was feeling tired. I'm like, right, but I'm eating all the right stuff. Well, the wrong, when I first started on the nutrition thing, weren't getting enough carbs in. I'm like, what? Like, but carbs are the bad thing. Like, surely I shouldn't be eating those. I'm like, no, just try it for a couple of weeks. If whatever. Boom. Weight stayed the same. Energy went up, and I'm like, oh, right, this makes sense now. And recovery wise, I mean, I was crap on my first one. I didn't look after myself in terms of, like, stretching and warm ups and having physio and stuff like that. Absolutely shocking. Like, I remember my first comp, I didn't warm up. I was just sat talking to my fella and was like, heard my name, and I'm like, okay, bye, I'm off. And just went and did it. And even my coach was just like, fuck, like, didn't you at least just do a couple of stretches? I'm like, no, just bye.
What was your first event?
What was the first event? Axle press.
Oh God, that would be something you would need to warm up for. Like,
I'm just sat gabbing, heard my name, and I'm like, oh, no.
I like your attitude though. At the same time, you're laid back. Like, you take yourself serious, but like not like overly serious. Where do you know what I mean? Like, for your first competition, you just went with the flow and done what you could. Everything that you probably done that day was all PBs anyway. You were going out and you were just smashing it for you.
Like, I sort of had some sort of like expectation in my head, but I was saying to my coach Callum, and I'm like, right, on this I want to get 10, on this I want to get 10, on that one I want to do, it in 15 seconds or whatever. But yeah, the only thing was my deadlift. Again, that was probably because I'd not warmed up, which looking back now, like. But yeah, I was terrible. I didn't do any sort of stretches. I didn't have any sort of, like, sports massages, stuff like that. And it was only till it must have been probably a month, 2 months after that, bumped into someone at the gym who is a sports massage guy. And he's like, oh, you know Callum, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, how do you know him? Oh, I went to school with him. Oh, okay. What do you do? Sports massage. Oh, I know you're not at work, but I've got this weird niggle at the bottom of my back. Like, what could it be? Like, sort of thing. Oh, have you done this? Have you done this? Have you done this? I'm like, no, it's just when I'm lifting weights, like that movement. It's like, right, here's my number. Ring me up and I'll get you booked in. I'm like, right, okay. Went there. Turned out, because yet again, I knew nothing about your muscles are connected to that, and if you've got an injury here, it's not actually that muscle, it's the one on the other side. And
yeah, especially I found out recently, if you have if you're tight in your chest, I was going to say, if you're tight in your boob, you're going to be sore in your arse. I didn't realize they were connected.
I didn't until I got there, and I mean, bless him, it was his friend that the other massage guy that works with it, and it weren't the Brandon that I'd first met. Gets in there and he's like, right, shoe socks off, shirt off. I'm like, okay, I thought I was just coming to have someone like rub my back, like. Okay.
You were getting all stripped down.
Right. So, I'm getting there, I'm undressed, and I, sit on the little bench thing. I'm like, right, okay. It's my back. Like, it's like, right, now we need to do some like tests to see like what, obviously it's good for them because they know what muscles it is and stuff. I'm just thinking I'm going to go in there and they're going to have some scented candles and whale music on in the background, sort of thing. Just rub your back and off you pop. Like, bye. Right, lift your leg up like this. Do this with your arm. Do that with your arm. Do this. Lean that way. I don't know what has this got to do with my bloody back? Like, anyway, it must have worked because I came out afterwards. I was like, oh my god, like, what is this? Yeah, but that turned out it was
some witchcraftery.
Honestly, it is. It hurts like an absolute fucker though. Like, he'll get his elbow in there, lean all his weight on it, and I'm like, right, thank you, thanks. But yeah, but that lower back thing was something, like you say, when you were saying the boob and the arse thing, it was my arse, apparently. The muscle on it, I wasn't activating it or something, that was causing the back pain. Oh, right, okay. So on my, like I said, my first sports massage, I just had this random guy touching my bum up, and I thought it was my back. And I came out and texted the fella because he's going, oh, was it all right? Is your back all right? I'm like, yeah, he's just been sat rubbing my bum, and I'm not really sure why that's to do with my back, but it don't hurt anymore. But yeah, luckily, he was a lovely, lovely chap, and I've been going sort of about once every month, sort of 6 weeks or so, just to keep on top of that. And like what is it, your lats? Because they were like really tight on one side, but it's insane the difference. Because I said to him, I was like, I can't pull my arms close enough when I'm squatting. Went there the next day, straight away, did squatting. I'm like, how? Like, I'm doing all my stretches right, I'm doing everything right, but nothing seems to work. As soon as I go there, it works. So yeah, so I'm trying to be a bit better with looking after myself.
And then for your second competition, did you use anything that you learned from the first one to do differently for the second one? Yes and no.
I did warm up. Not
good. That's a good start.
Not as much as I wanted to, but I did warm up. My fella in the middle of that, Christmas, I want to say, or my birthday, he bought me one of them like massage gun things.
Oh, they're amazing.
Absolutely best thing ever. So he was
they're
on
amazing
that
for more than one reason, but I'm sorry, I couldn't help but say them.
So he was on
myself now. Anyway, we've established they're very good.
Yeah, very good. 10 out of 10 would recommend. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, I warmed up, took all my stuff with me. He were on the gun on me back sort of thing in between things. Because my back did go on that second one really bad. To the point where like my coach, he came up because his kid is my goddaughter, and she wanted to come and see Auntie Izzy sort of thing, doing a thing. And it literally got to the point where he was like having to, I don't know how you describe it, so I was on my back with like my knee up and over, and he was just having to sit on me to put that much pressure on my back because it just wasn't popping. Like, I was literally just having to hunch myself over. I couldn't walk. It was fucking awful. Absolutely screamed. Don't know what I'd done with it. Like, to the point we went to the hotel that night. We stayed over up in Doncaster for that night. And I couldn't even like sit down to go to the toilet. I had to get my fella to come and like lower me down like a like elderly woman or something. Right, you're right. I'm like, yeah, right. I'm done. Come on. Just couldn't do anything with it. There were no shops open, so we had to go to this like garage and get a bag of peas because that was the only thing they had. Right, thanks.
But you still managed to pull it out of the bag and get second.
Apart from that, it was a good day.
What was the events? What was the events for that day? Do you remember?
Were axle deadlift, farmer's walk, yoke, dumbbell, and and log.
And the dumbbell, that was one you sent me into the Instagram page put up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What weight was
like,
that?
That was 25 kilo. So yeah,
it looks a lot more than that.
Yeah. So not like mega heavy, but it astonished me because whenever like training stuff, I'd have my timer on and right in a minute I've got to at least see how many I do, click it sort of thing. And I was getting like 10. And I was, puffing and everything. And then when they said like, oh, you've done 21 reps, I'm like, what? Like, are you sure you counted right? Like, but I'll never forget the ref in front of me because they had some, like, obviously the ref in front of you counting, and then a guy behind you in case, I'm assuming, like a spotter. And he was just laughing. And I got really paranoid. I was like, what are you laughing at? Thinking, have I got something on my shirt? Have I got something around my face I've eaten? Like, what? And I kept saying to myself, why are you laughing? He's just like, you shouldn't be doing it like that. And I'm like, what? Like, why have you not told me I'm doing it wrong then? Like, what? And he's like, most people pick it up, like do one big swing to the shoulder and then like almost like press it up. But apparently I was just like picking it up straight away.
Oh, you were doing a CrossFit? You were doing a CrossFit one?
Yeah. And he was like, you can't do it like that. And I'm going, well, what? Why are you not like disqualifying me sort of thing? Like, we've only got a minute. Like, tell me what I'm doing.
But technically you done it because it's up over your shoulder.
Exactly. And he's like, no, I'm not laughing like because you're doing it bad. He was like, you just shouldn't be able to do it like that. I'm like,
but you know what? He probably worded it wrong because what he should have said was that you're so strong that weight was too light for you, because if what he probably meant was, the way the strong men do it, or the strong, we do it, it's just here and up. But if it's too light a weight, you're going to just be able to go, which is what you were doing. So you were probably take a good thing from it. You were hell of a lot stronger than what you thought you were.
Well, that's what afterwards, sort of, after we'd done the podium ceremony thing, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
I'd never met him before, but I think he like works at that gym. And he came over to me and he was like, you need to be in inters, like them weights, the reps you were getting on them, you would, piss being in inters. I was like, right, okay. I can't take compliments at all. I get so
you have to definitely is something you have to learn to take. It's hard.
It was like, no, it was like that weight you would have done easy, because I think the inters it only went up to like 35 kilo. I say only an extra 10 kilo, but
you still would have been, you probably still would have been swinging it up.
Yeah, and he was just like, you would have easily like got first thing in that. I'm like, right, okay, thank you. Like toddle back off, like thanks. So I've entered into this next one, and I'm absolutely shitting myself for it because they are heavyweights.
What is the comp? What's the name of the comp that's coming up?
It's called Conquer the Castle in Scarborough.
Oh, never heard of it. There's just so many people running events, isn't there? Too. It's amazing. Like it's great.
Loads, absolutely. There's loads, but not a lot for women, which really annoys me. And I said to like Michaela, well, what sort of within like a 2.5 hour drive she was taking.
Yeah.
I am not driving all the way to London or somewhere or Essex to do a comp and then drive back like the 4 hours. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry.
There's one in Liverpool, in May. Liverpool's not too far from Yorkshire, isn't it not? I remember, I think it only took us maybe a
Not
couple of
too
hours to
bad.
travel
It's
up.
about 3 hours, yeah.
It's Liverpool's strongest woman, but he's letting me compete in it.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it would be maybe if there's any, it might be another one you could do.
Yeah, definitely. I'll have a look at that.
Mm.
Yeah, but absolutely none for like women, and without it sounding awful, none that are like a challenge. Like I've seen like so many, and they're like, oh, it's a 60 kilo deadlift and a 20 kilo log, and I'm like, and that's all well and good if
Is that
amazing.
like open to like there's no weight categories in that?
Yeah, it literally also just say women. The rest it'll be like men's under 85, men's under 100, men's opens or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's just women. Like, right, okay, but that doesn't classify. Like, it's not fair if I went into that, for example, and did it, nor is it fair if some of them and they were given a massive heavy weight that they can't even pick up. Like, there's no
I know what you
category.
mean. Because there's some competitions over here, I think that they're running like a women's league, strength league or something, and I think it's open, so there's no weight categories, but the way they're doing it is if you're a 60 kilo woman, you just do 2 times your body weight. So I'm 130 kilos, so I would have to do double, like for a deadlift I would have to do twice my body weight, and I'm not, what's that, that's 260 kilo deadlift. I'm only at 160, 170, so that's well out of my lifting league for that. So it's getting fine in the balance too.
Oh, 100%. Like, because I was sort of like thinking, obviously, because I'm a bigger girl, like when I was starting this, I remember messaging the guy who ran the first competition, was like, oh, is it weight categories? And he's like, no, not for like novice, obviously, until you get like the big sort of the celebrity strong women league sort of thing. It's like, no, we just have novice, inters, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, okay, like that's fine, but why can't just every competition have that? Like, there's none. It's so far and few between that you'll find a good competition, and the rest are just like, no, we've only got men's. We've only got men's. I'm like,
no, and say you're are you far from Preston?
Preston, because I'm not sure without looking on a map, if I'm honest.
Because keep an eye on Rhiannon Lovelace's page. She runs quite a lot of competitions, quite a lot of good ones with weight categories and stuff as well.
Ooh.
She does novice, intermediate, and then she does like kind of above intermediate, but not quite professional. Well, professional level as well. Should be another good one to look into as well.
Yeah,
her competitions are well run too, from what I've watched.
Oh, I can imagine. Oh, pardon me, I've got hiccups.
So definitely be something to look at. It's only one of the ones I can think on, and then again, if you're then the only other thing then is just going in, just biting the bullet and going into like England's strongest woman, and they sound scary, but do you know what? I was like, as you say, because you've all the girls cheering you on, it's still a good experience as well.
Oh God, yeah. I don't know. I ain't got the balls for that yet. Not at all. Like, we looked at, because like Arnold's Classic had the like women's first deadlift and log thing last year.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that'd be so cool if we could get into it like for this year coming up. But they've not seemed to like release anything of like how you can
No, they haven't.
like apply for it. Or I said to my coach, I was like, I'm not sure if they invite you sort of thing, or if you can post a video of your top 5 thing or whatever, and they just pick it out.
Yeah.
But there's been absolutely nothing to even apply for it or whatever. So I'm like, I don't know, I'm like, we'll see what happens.
Are you in the Strongwoman, Strongman like Facebook groups as well? They post quite a lot of stuff up on it. I know there was one body power. It's not happening this year. It was apparently another good one. But there's a few other competitions. I can't remember what they're called. But I usually just do what my coach tells me.
Yeah, I just have a look at them online. I'm like, nah, I don't like this app. Nah. Oh, that one looks good. Oh, yeah, we'll do that one. I really want like a really quirky one now. I want one for like, I don't know, like something to do with cars in it, or I just want the. It sounds like I feel like a kid at Christmas. I just want the cool stuff, like. I don't know, just something different than your bog standard deadlift press.
What about where are you, Yorkshire? Where's Sheffield? Not is that in Sheffield? I'm so bad with geography. Is that even in Sheffield? Is that a completely different place again?
Where is,
Is
sorry?
Sheffield and Yorkshire, are they like
Yeah, Sheffield's in Yorkshire, yeah.
Oh yeah, I got it right. Woo. They have Sheffield Strongest Woman as well. I've seen it advertised a couple of times. That's another one to look at. It would be
I love
an or
that.
a step up between like England's Strongest Woman, doing your local or national one, as they say. That
Yeah.
qualifies you also then, I think, for a couple of other competitions.
Oh, but yeah,
Look
that's
into
another
that.
thing. Like, I don't understand at all. Is that how to even like get into it? Like, obviously, like doing like the little local ones and stuff. I'm like, how do you? Because you see it, don't you, when you go into like Britain's Strongest or World's Strongest? Like, oh yeah, so and so's been invited to go and do it, and I'm like, right, but how do we get to the next step? Like,
Definitely try that Sheffield Strongest Woman. I think they've recently enough had one, so I don't know when the next one is. But it'll be another one to look into, another one to I think they have a Facebook page.
yeah, I'll definitely have a look into that.
Or even look up the old, like the Sheffield Strongest Woman from last year, because they'll have the contact details on it too.
Oh god, yeah.
So moving on from that, I see on your Instagram you're a Pinterest queen. Talk to me a wee bit about that.
Yeah, just I love anything DIY, and just like you say, make it look Pinterest. Like, I know people's like, what? Yeah, I've just recently bought my first house, and I'm sort of like in the middle of nearly everything's unpacked, but now I'm putting photos up and painting and stuff like that. And yeah, just every thing on Pinterest I've got, living room, bedroom, spare bedroom, kitchen, da da da. I've been like, right, now I want that colour scheme in there, and oh, I like that, style of furniture, and oh, that'd look nice in that corner. So yeah, so Sarah's put up my strongman shirt with all my signatures and stuff on, and made a little a strongman reading nook with all my books.
Is that t-shirt from last night from Britain's Strongest Man?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it? It was amazing watching it.
It was amazing. I woke up this morning and could hardly talk. I'm like, absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. We were like on the second row, right on the floor, and it were such a shame about Luke, though. He like pulled his quad and it just was like spazzing. So he dropped out for the second event. But yeah, just absolutely insane. Like,
was that the first time you got to meet any of them?
Yeah, my first like real sort of, I don't want to say real competition, but like with the big boys, I call them. Like, we're the little timers and they're the big timers, sort of thing.
You just been a pure fan girl.
Yeah, honestly, my phone's just like, oh, he's coming up now, he's coming up, and I know he's on our side. But yeah, absolutely incredible, and they were all so nice as well. Like, they took the time to talk to you, and it weren't just like, oh yeah, here's a photo, bye. Like, just such genuine blokes, like, they all are like Paul Smith, like from Sheffield and stuff. I'm like, oh, it's nice to see another Yorkshire man. It's like, oh yeah. It's just again another sort of positive for the sport. Like, they're all from every background. They're all, typical normal blokes. removal men and, you know, plumbers and whatever, and they do this, and yeah, it's just amazing.
Who are you cheering on most for?
Honestly, when I first got there, my top two were the Stoltmans.
Ah.
And then obviously as the night went on, it was Par. So now I have got to say Par is probably my favourite now. Yeah,
As we peck dance.
yeah. Oh, he's just so funny. Like, he's one of those, like, you'd see in a pub and you'd be like, right, I want to be your friend. Like, just absolutely so funny. Just everything you were coming out with. And it was so lovely as well, as sort of, obviously you'd probably like know, have seen him before and stuff. Like,
I mean, like I've seen him before on Instagram, but I've never. Oh well, he refereed actually one of my competitions in December, but apart from that, I'd never met the guy
yeah,
before.
like I'd never really heard of him. Like, it was only till I'd looked up, you know, the list of athletes. I was like, oh, okay, you know, follow him on Instagram, and didn't really check it until we'd been, and I was like, oh, it's that guy sort of thing again. I'm like, right, like, he's quite insane, really. Like, to say how far he went up the leaderboard so quickly.
Yeah.
Like, it's, I don't know, there's just a thing for the underdogs. Like, as all, like, I know that sounds really bad to say, but you obviously knew like the Stoltmans were going to be at the top. Like,
Yeah.
that's a given. And then, as awful as it sounds, all the rest are like, you know, normal blokes who work the 9 to 5 and they do this on the side. So obviously they haven't got as much time and what have you to dedicate to this. But it was incredible to see like how far he literally climbed up and won that second thing and being like the first Irish on the podium.
Yeah. And it was a Scottish, then it was Irish, and then it was in English.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just,
the only thing we're missing, if it was there was no Welsh, there wasn't the Welshman in fourth place. I don't think
he dropped out.
Mm.
So Gavin had dropped out like 2 days before.
Yeah.
And then Des dropped out, I want to say after the third event. I can't remember what he'd done.
Yeah, I think was it
I can't bloody remember now.
I think it was a part of his leg.
Yeah.
I think. Was that the boy that fell? That wasn't even the boy that fell either.
No,
the
Mark
fell. Wasn't his fell, what you call it?
Because then he said he felt a pop like on his lower sort of abdomen, like groin area. And I was like, oh God, like down there you think he had like a hernia or something if he's had a pop. They just carried on and did everything anyway. I'm like, oh, okay. And then at the meet and greet, he's like, oh yeah, it is a bit sore now. Oh, like, you really shouldn't have probably carried on then. Like, if you heard a pop, like
the adrenaline, though, I would say the adrenaline probably kept half the pain away.
Oh God, yeah. But it was just amazing, absolutely amazing.
And were you chatting to Luke and Tom?
Yeah, we only got to speak to them like for a few seconds because they were the last ones we went to see.
Yeah.
And it was obviously getting later on, and somebody had pardon me, I had a massive hiccup then. Yeah, there's just a massive queue in it. We're just getting on, and they were saying like, look, we want to get out of here. Like, that's fair enough. Like, so just did a brief like, hey up, you're all right, well done. You sign this. But yeah, apart from everyone else sat and like talked to you, and you can't blame them at all because they had a queue that was easy twice the length of anyone else's.
Oh.
And yeah, as awful as it sounds, it must be so draining for them just to be sat there after the competition. Like, right.
I know, all they probably want to do is just go to bed or go and eat, eat, poop and sleep.
Yeah, like, I mean, they'll try to like scoff sandwiches and stuff in between photos, and I'm like, you poor sods, like, it's lovely for, you know, us as, you know, an audience and stuff to meet you, but
yeah,
you just want to lie down and a bloody like takeaway, like, just go home.
And sometimes I would say sometimes it's not even worth the money. Although like you want to obviously your fans are supporting you by being there and paying, you know, they're there watching you and you want to, you know, do something for them. But at the same time, it's just like, it's probably not worth the money. They're sitting there when you could be away getting yourself just organized, and you're you know what yourself, what it's like after competition, you're absolutely fucked. You just want to go and lie down somewhere in a wee ball and roll up into the fetal position and rock backwards and forwards.
Yeah, but they were just absolutely knackered. Absolutely, you could just see it in the face. It's like absolutely drained, and it's like you said, they don't want to be sat there because it was probably a good couple of hours at least after the comp, like going around meeting everyone. And they didn't have, substantial food, if you will. They were literally scoffing down like these little sandwiches that this, I mean, bless him, must have only been about 10 or 11. They're like the party platter things you get from like Morrison's, like the pre-made sandwiches.
Yeah.
Just going around going, do you want a sandwich? Do you want a sandwich?
That wouldn't even fill a wee hole in their stomach.
Exactly. I'm like, that is not what they want right now. Like, I can tell you that now. They want to go across the road to where like bloody Burger King and McDonald's and stuff is. That's what they need. We'll get some real grub. No. It were amazing. Absolutely incredible.
So we're nearly pretty much rounded up. It's just the last thing is goals for the year ahead. Just what's your goals for 2022?
Finally come a part of the, what is it? 'Cause it's an American weights into the 1,000-pound club, where it's, I don't know what that is in.
Oh, is that all your? Is that with your
like squat, bench, and deadlift?
Your maxes together,
I wanted to do it before Christmas, and then I buggered my back up, so I was out of training and stuff for about 3-4 months. So I was like, well, that ain't gonna happen, so we'll just extend it a bit. I'd finally like to lock that down because it worked out at like a 200 kilo deadlift, 180 squat and 100 bench. I think it worked out at roughly that.
Very doable, definitely very doable.
Oh god, yeah, like I'm not far off at all. Like my deadlift at the moment, like my 1 rep is like 180. Squat about at 160, 170 at the minute, and bench. We haven't tested 1 rep for a while, but I'd probably guess it's probably about 85, 90 at the minute. So like I said, not far off, but I'm just more annoyed in myself that it wasn't done for when I wanted it done.
Yeah. And are you going to get into powerlifting as well?
Probably not. It seems a bit too strict for me, if I'm honest. There's a guy at the gym that does it, and I call them leotards, but I'm not sure what they're called. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not wearing one of them. Like, sorry,
I just call them onesies.
Like, no one wants to see me in one of them. They look very uncomfortable. I'll just have a wedgie all day. Nah. I just want to wear these funky shorts and throw some crap about. And I too structured for me, I think. Don't get me wrong, it's very, very admirable. And like Olympic lifting and stuff, like absolutely incredible technique wise and stuff. But I think it's just too formal for me.
I think that pretty much rounds them questions up. Is there anything else you would like to talk about?
I can't think of anything. No, just like I said, like all of this is new to me, and I'm just like, see what happens, see where it takes us.
Well, I could probably be talking to you again like this time next year for series 2 or 3, and you'll have smashed all them goals and some. So it'll be great. It'll be great to get caught up then. So it would. And sure, you could be entering England's Strongest Woman by that stage as well.
Possibly.
So we'll just go then to the fire questions there. You just answer them as quickly as possible. And there's about 10, maybe 15 of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So your favorite TV program?
Grey's Anatomy.
Your favorite film?
Oh God. Mulan. Yeah.
Your favorite band?
Probably at the Shikari.
I don't know who they are. I don't know who that is. Your favorite drink, alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
Bundaberg rum.
I still haven't heard of that either.
It's an Australian.
Oh,
Yeah, I was over
because
there
you done
for 2 years.
backpacking
Yeah,
through Australia, didn't you?
yeah.
Oh, we could have got to awkward. We'll talk about that another day. Your favorite meal?
If I'm not, probably steak and chips and like veg and stuff.
Steak, chips, and egg. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Favorite holiday destination?
Australia.
If you had a bucket list, what would the top 3 things be?
See elephants in the wild. I'd say go bungee jumping, but I've already done that. But probably go bungee jumping again. Probably just travel, like just anywhere.
Yeah. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Night.
Favorite superhero?
I don't know, because I'm not really into like Marvel and Batman.
Favorite fancy dress if you were going out for Halloween or going to a fancy dress party?
Jesus, that's been a long time. Trying to think when my last one was Wednesday Addams.
Yes, favorite gym day.
Gym day, upper arm day.
Favorite city.
Melbourne.
Favorite other sport.
Rugby.
Your performance you're most proud of.
Me dumbbell press, definitely.
Yeah. One motion in it, yeah. Who is your greatest of all time strong woman and strong man?
Strong woman has got to be Rihanna Lovelace, like absolute babe. Strong man, probably Eddie. I think he's got a bit commercial at the moment, but when he was at his like starting of it, just such a down to earth lad from a rough part, and he definitely built his way up. So you got to give him that. But like I said, at the moment, I think he has gone a bit commercial with it all. Which you can't blame
him. No. When you've got a big house to pay for.
Well, exactly. I mean, we'd all be doing the exact same if we got that offer.
You're right. It's something we all aspire to be. Minted. Favorite cheat meal?
Cheat meal, Chinese.
Favorite animal?
Dog.
Your favorite event?
Used to be deadlift, now probably axle press.
Your summer or favorite season?
Summer,
yeah. And that's pretty much all the questions. Thank you, Izzy, for coming on. It's been a great pleasure. It's been great crack. I hope you enjoyed it and get chatting to you again soon.
I love it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening. Now don't forget to subscribe and ring that wee bell. Ding-a-ling.